High-voltage football fans, get ready. A storm is brewing in Europe, and at the heart of it is a midfielder who has quietly become one of the most dangerous weapons in world football. His name? Vitor Machado Ferreira, or simply Vitinha. A player so good, so complete, that every elite club wants him. Yet shockingly, not enough people are talking about him. This is a man who was once mocked as a Premier League flop, who even had a public clash with Lionel Messi, only to rise from the ashes and, within 3 short years, lift the Champions League trophy while drawing comparisons to Luka Modric himself. And here's the scariest part, the world still underestimates him. For 2 full seasons, Vitinha has been delivering world-class performances, but because he plays in France, his brilliance has been overshadowed by football's spotlight bias. Let's be honest, if you're in the Premier League, Barcelona, or Real Madrid, you instantly win the attention lottery. That's why names like Declan Rice, Rodri, Pedri, and Bellingham dominate headlines. But make no mistake, Vitinha has fought his way through the ranks and is already playing at their level. Some would even dare to say he belongs in the top 3 midfielders in the world right now.
This guy, I'm sorry, Vitinha, plays a different sport. It's not the same football you know when you control the tempo and the rhythm of a game? That has to count for something.
So yes, his potential is downright terrifying. But here's the truth. Only a few of you truly know the incredible story behind Vitinha's rise. Before the Paris Saint-Germain spotlight, before the Champions League headlines, and before the Luka Modric comparisons, he was just another gifted boy from Santo Tirso, Portugal. The kind of player scouts liked but didn't obsess over. He wasn't labeled the next big thing. He was simply talented, elegant on the ball, tidy with his passing, and technically sharp. Vitinha climbed Porto's youth system step by step, slowly building a reputation for his silky ball control and intelligent passing range. Then, in 2020, came the call he thought would change everything: a loan move to Wolves in the Premier League. For Vitinha, it felt like destiny, the moment to show the world his magic. But football can be cruel. At Molineux, he barely played. Critics wrote him off as too light, too weak, too soft for English football. Not intense enough, they said. The so-called dream move became a nightmare, the experiment a failure. But here's the part everyone misses. That year didn't break him, it forged him. Vitinha returned to Porto carrying a fire inside him, determined to prove every doubter wrong. And when the 2021-22 season arrived, he didn't just grow, he exploded. He became the beating heart of Porto's midfield, orchestrating attacks, controlling games, and leading them to a league and cup double. His influence was so monumental that even now, years after his departure, Porto still struggles to replicate that dominance. Playing between the number 6 and number 8 roles, Vitinha evolved into the engine of the system. He broke pressing traps with ease, turned defense into attack in seconds, and even added defensive bite. His dribbling especially made waves across Europe. He didn't just carry the ball, he made it look like it was glued to his feet. By the time PSG signed him, he had transformed into one of the most press-resistant midfielders in world football. Take the Champions League final as the perfect example. That sequence in the build-up to the 3rd goal, pure artistry. Vitinha picked up the ball, surged 30 to 40 meters through the heart of the opposition, released it to Dembélé, then instantly slipped into an empty pocket of space. Moments later, after a breathtaking backheel from Ousmane, the ball was back at his feet, and the finish was inevitable. That single move wasn't just a goal, it was a statement. Vitinha has arrived. Vitinha's decisive moment came in that Champions League final. He drove through the heart of the pitch, linked with Ousmane Dembélé, slipped into space, and then set up Desire Doué for the killer 3rd goal. At 3-0, PSG had the trophy in their hands, and that play, crafted almost entirely by Vitinha, sealed the game. It was the performance of a monster. But to understand how he got here, we need to rewind the clock. After overcoming the nightmare of the 2020-21 season at Wolves and exploding back to life at Porto, it was only a matter of time before a European giant came calling. And in 2022, it was Paris Saint-Germain. The man who made it happen. Luis Campos. For those who don't know, Campos is a genius talent spotter, the architect behind Monaco's fairytale 2017 title and Lille's Shock League 1 triumph in 2021, both at PSG's expense. After parting ways with Lille, he was hired by PSG in June 2022, and within 3 weeks, he had triggered Vitinha's €41.5 million release clause. Campos saw something the world hadn't yet seen, and he wanted him at all costs. But let's be honest, when Vitinha arrived at the Parc des Princes, most fans shrugged. Who is this guy? Another average League One signing. That was the sentiment. He wasn't a star name, he wasn't a Galactico. And year one proved difficult. Under Christophe Galtier, Vitinha was misused and misplaced. One match as a deep playmaker, the next marooned on the left wing. He worked tirelessly, pressing, tackling, covering ground, but he wasn't dictating play. He wasn't playing like himself. The criticism came fast. Too passive. Doesn't influence the game. Not worth the transfer fee. Some fans even wondered if PSG had wasted their money. And yet, he didn't break. Instead, he endured. Even when tensions boiled, he stayed standing. He nearly clashed with Lionel Messi in training. He was targeted by Neymar's fury after a 3-1 defeat to Monaco, with Neymar openly claiming the squad had been weakened by rivals like Vitinha. In a dressing room of superstars, he was the easy scapegoat. But then came the turning point, Luis Enrique. Enrique's arrival in 2023 was like a rebirth. For the first time, Vitinha had a coach who truly understood him. Enrique gave him what he had been missing: freedom, trust, and the ball. No longer a misplaced piece, he was the orchestrator, playing deeper, conducting the rhythm like a young Luka Modric at Real Madrid. And suddenly, everything clicked. The highlights of his breakout campaign? Without doubt, those 2 goals against Barcelona in the Champions League quarterfinals. It was in that tie, on that stage, against that opponent, that the world finally paused and said, "Wait, this kid is different." The talent was always there. But now, under Enrique, it wasn't just talent, it was transformation. And by then, the whispers had already begun. Is Vitinha on the path to becoming the best midfielder in the world? In the next round, PSG stumbled. They couldn't break down Borussia Dortmund's ironclad low block. The attack lacked fluidity, the rhythm was gone. And of course, at that time, nobody dared point fingers at Kylian Mbappé. He was the best in the world. Or at least, that's what we were told. But here's the harsh truth. Being the best individually doesn't always give you more. Sometimes it actually gives you less, if it comes at the expense of a real, functioning system. And that's exactly what Luis Enrique built in year 2. Not a one-man show. Not an Mbappé dependency. A system. And at the heart of it all was Vitinha. He wasn't just fitting into Enrique's vision. He was the vision. Quietly, number 17 became the metronome of PSG. Every attacking sequence, every passing lane, every rhythm shift, it usually began with him pulling the strings. Even though PSG's first half of the season felt underwhelming, everything changed once 2025 arrived. From that heroic comeback against Manchester City, the moment that forged this PSG squad, to the Champions League final itself, Vitinha orchestrated play like few others have ever done in a PSG shirt. The whispers grew louder, he's the new Marco Verratti. But let's be honest, with all due respect to Verratti, Vitinha might already be bigger for PSG than Verratti ever was. And here's the delicious paradox. Statistically, this season has been worse. Last year, he scored 9 and assisted 5. This year, 7 goals, 3 assists. Yet this is, without question, the best season of his professional career.
Why?
Because his greatness isn't about the numbers. It's about control, tempo, authority. And now we reach the comparison that sounds almost blasphemous, until you actually watch him play. Vitinha isn't trying to be Luka Modric, he just is Luka Modric. Small frame, silky touch, low center of gravity? Check. Resistant to pressure, capable of dribbling past opponents while still finding the killer pass? Big check. Even the height matches, 172 centimeters. But it's not just about the eye test. His numbers this season, progressive carries, pass accuracy, tempo control, they mirror Modric at his Real Madrid peak. And here's the scary part. Luka Modric didn't reach that level until he was 30, maybe even 33, when he won the Ballon d'Or. Vitinha, he's doing this at 25. He's already gone toe-to-toe with Europe's giants and stood tall. Luis Enrique calls him the brain of PSG's midfield. PSG insiders are whispering a new nickname, our Modric. And this isn't hype. This isn't marketing spin. These are cold, hard facts. It's happening. Right now. Right under everyone's nose. So I'll throw it to you. Does Vitinha truly deserve to be spoken of in the same breath as Luka Modric? Or is he being overrated by PSG fans desperate for a hero? Drop your thoughts below.